People who are listening, we can say Oduduwa people, we can say the BBOs, the Idomas, the Evics, the Anangs. What we don't want to do is to get into a position where we begin to address, because we don't believe in this contraption called Nigeria. If they want to have a country called Nigeria, they should get all the people together around the table and be able to discuss it. Not for people to come from Europe and tell us, you're from tomorrow morning, your name is now Nigeria. It is still a very, very sober moment for us as a people, because some people are still dying. I'm delighted to say with me today in the studio, I have Dr. Egemba with me, and very shortly we'll be introducing you to a very, very important man in the effort to try to free our people from bondage. So before I go any further, I would like to bring in Dr. Egemba at this stage to please say hello to you.
Hello, our people. Good evening once more, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It seems to me I'm getting indication from the producer that I'm going too fast. Oh, when the guys even say, considering the success we've had, but we have to speak English because of the audience that we have. This program is going out to the whole world, so it is important that we communicate so people understand, other countries understand what our people are going through, so that when they kill us, we'll be able to speak to them in English language to let them understand that terrible things are happening. Nnamdi Kanu, because I is in London radio station Radio Biafra London eziokwu na-ebotakwara unu oziọma na-asị na nwantịntị oge n'oge na-adịghị anya ihe a na-eme anyị ga-ahapụ anyị. Mụ na Dr. Egemba na ebe a dịka anyị si na-ekwu, nwantịntị oge anyị ga-akpọbatakwa onye ọzọ, nwanne anyị nwoke, ka o nwee ike kọwara unu mkpa ọ dị na anyị nwere onwe anyị n'ọsịsọ n'ihi na anyị afọ anyị aka n'okwu. All these 2 years that is gone, we've not been lying idle, doing nothing. We've been doing something all this while, and very shortly we're going to reveal what we've been doing. Before I go any further, let me just quickly skim through the headlines we'll be discussing this evening, because it's very important. They are going to be able to speak to us very shortly. She'll be joining us on the phone, and also be speaking to a few other people. But for now, we understand that the broadcast of Saturday was absolutely well received. It was fantastic, was very clear all over the place. So we are saying that that is sort of standard we want to set going forward. We have a very packed program for you today, and please, whatever you do, this is your favorite hour, and very shortly we'll be giving you a number to be reaching us on. Thank you very much, and don't go away. Wonderful people, welcome back. This is Radio Biafra London, coming to you on 11870 kilohertz on the shortwave band, or 11.87 megahertz on the shortwave band. There's our frequency. That's where you get us on. A lot of people has been agitating, emailing us, going to our website, and don't forget our website, www.radiobiafralondon.com. Unfortunately, a lot of people reported that the website basically crashed due to the high level of traffic that was coming in. We got information saying that the bandwidth we're using is a bit too much, so we do apologize, and we're very sorry if you went online to listen and you weren't able to listen because of the demand was too high. I hope for some of you who were jubilating that Radio Biafra came back, that you were not disappointed by what you received. We can never change it. It's the same thing. We bring you the truth, we analyze it, we make it possible for you, for the average person, to be able to understand the news and be able to follow it. N'ihi na ndị awụsa avụ redio na-akpagharị iberibe na adịghị ha ma ihe ha na-eme, ha na-enweta ozi n'olu ala ha kwa ụbọchị. N'ihi nke a, biko anyị na-asị na anyị na-ekele unu. Tupu anyị aga n'ihu, ka unu nwee ike ka anyị mara ma ọnwa Ada Amarachi na-akpọ n'anyị ihe a, biko nụ. Yes, hello.
Biafra. Ada Amarachi na-akpọ.
Ndị Biafra na-asịzi m gbara ha ọsọ, hapụgo ha. Have you abandoned us?
Okay, no, I've not abandoned them. I'm still with them.
That's very good to know, because on Saturday you were stuck in traffic, you didn't make it on time, and today you're not in the studio again, so they're wondering what is going on.
Like I told you, I traveled and I've not been able to come into London. Hopefully I'll be around for the next
That will be on Saturday. Okay, then. So are you promising that Biafrans will be able to hear your voice on Saturday?
Definitely. I'm still here to serve them.
We are basically, we've not actually gone through the headlines yet, but what we want to do is perhaps be able to capture what your impression is. Or you can actually remain on the line whilst we continue. Please, Doctor, the headlines and our listeners, wherever you are, the headlines for today is that we received a report that Governor Patrick Ibrahim of Kaduna State says that Boko Haram is is not at war with Christians and Southerners. And again, the question will be asking is who will speak up? This Governor Patrick Ibrahim is speaking up for Boko Haram, but we're saying who will speak out or who will speak up for Ndibo in the face of this continued onslaught coming from Hausaland. And when Barrister Meka makes it in fact, I would have wanted him to introduce himself when he gets here. We're able to ask him these very questions as well. Amarachi, I hope you're still there. You're listening.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and also we are still receiving reports that there hasn't been any progress or any tangible move to engage young people who are graduating, who are leaving universities. They're still abandoning the Southeast. They're still going out of Igbo land to go to other places to look for work. We understand that all the industries that Michael Okpara and Samumbakwe built, they're still moribund. Almost 99.9% of them. Golden Guinea Moiha is still not working. Ceramics is not working. In fact, even
the paint factory,
the resin is not working. And despite all the good intentions of people, Ezinnachi is not working. And we're saying if all these industries are not working, as we were saying in 2009, who is going to employ our youths, and where are they going to be able to find employment? Or is this a deliberate policy for the government to keep moving them out? And also university fees for all around the country is rising. These are those who are not in Imo State. We understand Imo State has free education. That is our understanding, and long may that continue. But fees for Igbo children studying outside Igbo land continues to rise. So if you can go very quickly to the first one, this about Governor Patrick Ibrahim of Kaduna State, who is saying that Boko Haram is not at war with Christians. How do you really see it? Because he didn't say Igbo people, but it's Igbos who are being killed. Kaduna State is where we had the bombing on Easter Day on Assemblies of God Church. So what does it mean? If they're not at war, why are they bombing churches, Amarachi, if you're still there?
Good question to ask, and I was pondering about that, and I'm like, if actually he claims that his people, the Boko Harams, I believe he belongs to them, if they are not really at war with Christians, then they should have targeted other areas other than the churches, and at the time that they do target them, the festive periods are really very important to Christians. So, in my own opinion, I believe they are targeting Christians.
Yes, what Amarachi said is correct. Now, since is it 2009 or 2 this Boko Haram started, how many mosques have they bombed? How many mosques have they tried to bomb when people are in worship? How many northern area that are predominantly northern people have they attacked? The governor you said his name is Patrick, which means that's an English name. He's probably a Christian from a Christian family. Maybe because
Kaduna is mostly,
right,
some of them are.
Right. You hardly see a northerner, a Muslim who bears English name, and Patrick for that matter. It's an English name. Probably he's a Christian. Now, this governor have got a lot of questions to answer. If he is not targeting, you are even talking of Southerners, he is targeting Igbo people. The Boko Haram are targeting Igbo people. If that is not the case, why are there not? There are other federal and the state targets, places they can target. Why are they targeting churches? And who worship in churches in northern Nigeria, other than a majority of them are Igbos and the northern Christians? So if they are not against Southerners, they are against Christians. And whether you call them not Southerners or you call them Christians, more than 90% of them are Igbo people. So Boko Haram are targeting Igbo people. Let them come and tell us that they are not targeting. And if they say that they are not targeting Igbo people predominantly, why is it that Igbo people are the people that mostly die whenever Boko Haram carries out this atrocious act? So this governor, he don't know what he's talking about. He should get his facts right. Boko Haram is targeting Christians, they are targeting Southerners, they are targeting Igbo people. And if they don't stop, they will regret it and they will pay for it.
That is the thing. I mean, the difficulty is that who brought Assemblies of God Church to Nigeria? I don't know if anybody can shed light on that. Assemblies of God Church was brought into Nigeria by Igbo people because I think their West African headquarters is in Umuahia, as a matter of fact, in a place called Old Umuahia. I don't know if Amachi is still there. Amachi, are you still there? I think we may have lost her line.
Okay.
The thing is, West African headquarters of Assemblies of God Church is in a place called Odo Mwanya in Ibeji. Now, that means that these are predominantly like the Kwa Igbo Church that belongs to our cousins.
From Akwa Ibom State,
yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Now, it's just like saying the Church of God Aladura. What's it called? Is it Church of God or Church of Christ Aladura? Is a Yoruba church. Everybody knows that. So if you have Church of Aladura a congregation in Kanu, and you go and bomb it, you know you're targeting Yorubas. You know that for sure. So let us not go away from the fact or to pretend or to think that somehow that there is no sectarian or ethnic coloration to the attack being carried out. They are killing people. They bombed the UN. That is correct. Maybe to get international attention or to deflect from the fact that their primary target, their primary objective is to keep killing Igbo people so that no Igbo person will emerge. Maybe it's either to contest for presidency or to be a part of that country. Because anyway, some of us have our views that God never even intended for Igbo people to be part of Nigeria anyway in the first place. But we can come to that later.
Can I add something quickly here? Now, you see, when you talk of trying to find out where the Assemblies of God Church originated or any other denomination in the Christian church, you are making mistake. The fact remains that Igbo people are predominantly 99.9% Christians, if not 100%. Forget these people who are they want to claim to be Muslims, they want to claim to be Islam because of money, because
so there are Igbo people who are converted to Islam because
for
of
material purpose only. What I'm trying to say in the
but not many, though. There are not many of them.
What I'm trying to say in the
are there many of them?
No, they are very tiny minority, and they will go.
Because I know about one Al Haji. I don't know if it's Abdulaziz.
They are only doing it in order to get a contract, in order to maybe they should not. These Christians now, the majority of the people who are Christians in the north, apart from the minority northerners who are Christians, people who worship, who set up churches are Igbo people who live in northern Nigeria, various places, because Igbos, they all know is that they are the pillar that is holding the so-called evil empire called Nigeria. Because everywhere we go, we feel free. We take our culture, we take our religion, we feel free and establish our churches to worship our God. This is why. Because why is it that many Igbo people are there? Because other part of Nigeria, they don't travel as widely as Igbo people do. They don't believe as strongly as Igbo people believe in one Nigeria. And unfortunately, we are paying the price. Igbo people are paying the price for their belief in a country that don't supposed to exist, that don't exist. This is the more reason why.
But there is sacrifice in everything we do. If losing a few Igbos now and again, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 every year is the price because in life you pay price for everything. You pay price for everything. If the price you need to pay to be in Nigeria is to lose 2,000 Igbos, 3,000 Igbos every year, then I think it's worth it so that people can open up shop in the north. If you have a spare parts business in Funtua, or you have a spare parts business in Guzo, or you have a spare parts business in Sokoto, maybe your neighbor's dying is the price worth paying so you can keep your shop open. Maybe that's how they're thinking. Who knows?
No, that cannot be a justification. Igbos are paying price of something that don't supposed to exist, that something that exists artificially. Nigeria, we have said it before, is an artificial creation, and with time the law of nemesis will catch up because of the evil that is going on in the country now. And that is why we are drawing the attention of our brothers in the north that they should sit up and think twice. Are they really in the right place at the right time? So Radio Biafra is back on the air to let them understand, make them think, and make hair, as you both said, why the sun shines.
Thank you very much. I mean, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Radio Biafra coming to you from London on 11,870 kilohertz on the shortwave band, or 11.87 megahertz also on the shortwave band.
25 meter band.
On the 25 meter band, I keep being reminded all the time by Dr. Gemba. If you're just joining us, please know that this particular message is coming to you from London. We were on the air 2 years ago, but we are back again, and this time around we're not going to go off air again.
Can I say something about our coming back?
Na Radio Biafra na akụ ekwe na asị because it is going to happen. The pogrom is going to happen again. The massacre is going to happen again. It happened to the Jews in Europe. You will kill the Jews, 500,000, 600,000, they said it's over, until Hitler killed 6 million of them. So that if you're in the north, your life is in danger, you will be killed. If you're not killed, that means you're very lucky. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow. And the only reason why you will hear it now is because Radio Biafra is on the air. Because in Nigeria, they kill Igbos, nobody reports it. But as long as Radio Biafra is on the air, we will report it. Whatever is happening to Igbo people, wherever they are in the whole of Africa, we will report it. In fact, in the whole of the world,
absolutely,
Igbos will hear about it.
Yeah.
This is the only dedicated network radio station that every Igbo person, wherever you are in Africa, will be able to receive us. Absolutely. And I think it's very important that maybe we'll just take a very short break, and after that we'll then introduce our listeners to a very wonderful and person who perhaps shed more light on some of the things that we don't already know about this very important struggle of ours. Please don't go away. Remember, it is 11,870 kilohertz on the shortwave band. Do not go. We'll be back in a second. Wonderful people, you're welcome back. This is Radio Biafra coming to you from London on 11,870 kilohertz on the shortwave band. I'm delighted to say that we have our first caller actually from Nigeria, which is quite ingenious. We've only just recently released the number. And please, if you bear with me for a second, I think we've had a few technical glitches. I'll see for a signal from the producer to tell me if it's okay to take this call. Please, who is on the line? Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Engineer Mazi calling from Nigeria, Referendum.
Wonderful, wonderful. What is your first name, Engineer Mazi? Because here we don't hide. We say who we are. What is your first name?
My name's Innocent Obindono Hedikemo Madi.
That's wonderful.
Right.
That's
Innocent Amadi. Let's take that one and move
that's
on.
Better. That's better. Watch a hand in this. I don't know if you to because there were no matter. This is no Kubeke. Call about lab Nabatraga Kagesu because Kawara Hene Menu Nihin Unumutakurosi and Keprona Saturday. Izuka Garaga.
Iswali Igbo. Obidiano Tony in Radio Biafra London has come back to be. Nkali gospel na aka Morilanya. Ebe nna anyị ojukwu nwụrụ. Anyị bidokwa ebe ọ kwụsịrị. So, ndị ọbụla na-aṅụrị. Na-enwetego ụzọ anyị ga-esi were anụta ihe na-emeni. N'ala Naịjirịa ọ Biafra. Ndị ndị na-ekwute okwu ndị ebe na-anaghị ajụjụ mmadụ ọrụ ikwu okwu.
Eziokwu biko unu na ha agbalị ka ekwanụ atụmatụ ma ọ bụ mbụ unu na-agba ịhụ na njem inwere onwe anyị ya na-aga n'ihu.
Ịma na ọ dịghị mfe n'ihi otu ọ chimọrọ na Naịjirịa ebe a anyị nweghị onwe anyị na-edu anyị ihe anyị na-eme ịgbasa ozi a dịka Radio Biafra London batara iji agagwu ihe otu ọ dị na-agbasa ozi nke a nyere anyị aka ịga gwa ụmụnne anyị si maka aka nwekwa olileanya nweta Biafra. Anyị ha agbasa ya ozi ọkụ n'ọrụ anyị na iji agwa ndị na-enweta ihe redio ma ndị na-enweta ego azụ ịgasị azụta nke nwere wọd receiver na-ege ntị ebe aka ga-etinye nwe ntụziaka bikọz ndị bụ usoro eji enye aka iji na-agwa ndị mmadụ na aka nwere olileanya nweta Biafra. So ọkụ n'ọrụ anyị na-agbasa ozi ya so ndị na-enweta ndị enweta ebe ha ebe chọrọ echi redio Biafra London will not be told on how to get it. Ndewo.
No, ha gbamba because are you one of the people mobilizing people, or because we have to speak in English as well because of our audience to understand what is happening in terms of are people expectant? Are they what is happening? Because the world is telling us when we go to meet people, when we speak to people, because very shortly we'll be speaking to a gentleman who has been working very hard on this issue. When he traveled, went to America to see very important people, not a lot seems to be happening from Biafra land to show that we are serious about what we are saying. Are you making any effort to try to address this deficiency? That's the problem.
Yeah, my brother, a lot of papers have been put on ground, but you know that this is Nigeria, nobody is free, the government is apprehensive on every movement that's been done here. So, but with the Radio Biafra London and with the human rights initiative which we are progressing now, actualizing Biafra through legal method, that is what we're trying to do, and eventually, when we're now moving to the straight on activism, so the Nigerian government will not have any authority over us now. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to, as much as we could, to make sure that things are done normally. if there's any way, like the passport program, the way they handle it, but the way it is now, I think people are not keen and they are interested to do more. But now the elites are involved. So I know about Surozi, that people will not join the moving train. This is something to have to do with the train, and with the coming up of everybody for London. Enough awareness will not be created.
Okay, Engineer Amade, you made mention of Bilie Human Rights Initiative. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? About Bilie, what the work is doing?
Yeah, the Human Rights Initiative, I understand, is the only voice to which you can actualize that from the international angle. And the voice has been registered here and in London as recognition, as we are roughly informed. And that is the only way we can now use the avenue or the vehicle to actualize Biafra. And a lot of people now are clamoring towards Bilie. And since we now know that Bilie is real, that we have no other alternative that to focus all efforts towards Bilie. And we're trying as much as we could to get people to know about what Bilie Human Rights Initiative is all about.
Okay, because ihe mere ya nwere enwe ọtụtụ otu niile dị iche iche nke pụta ya sị na ya na-agbasa ozi gbasara na a ga-eweta Biafra tata echi nwanne echi by 6 o'clock, by 4 p.m., by 4:30, by 2:30. Anyị na-eche afọ na-aga, afọ bịa, afọ aga, anyị anaghị ahụ ụzọ. Olekwana ọdịiche dịkwa nna nke ugbu a nụ na-eme nwa ọdịiche dị anụ n'ihi na anyị achọghị mmanwa na-akwa aka gakete n'ihu agawa azụ. Ọ bụ gịnị mere rute ugbu a anyị na-ekwu okwu ihe a kwa ụbọchị? Ọ dị onwe ihe rụtara aka isi na-erejistala organization na United Nations. Ọ bụkwana gịnị mere o gosipụtara that na rute ugbu a na-enwe organization ọgwụlawụ na-agba mbọ Biafra nọ na United Nations already ka ọ bụ gịnị? Ọ ihe gbagojuru anyị anya.
Mba, ise ji nkwu okwu imete Biafra. Enwetego ọtụtụ imete Biafra. Onwebeghị nke banyegoro United Nations. But before anyị ebido sowe ndị Bilie, emere ka anyị ghọta anyị chọọ nchọ bịa ka anyị wee chọọ n'ịntanet wee Google wee hụta na Bilie actually it's the only way through which we have to actualize Biafra and we have to follow suit. So ndị niile otu ndị ọzọ dị iche iche ga-atụnyere Bilie Human Rights Initiative as the only way to tell, because we are sure that Bilie will get it this time around. That is why we are interested. Because all these past years now it's a new dawn, the new movement or ways of actualizing Biafra. That is why we now preached on Bilie as only means of actualizing Biafra.
Ndewo nnu biko jisike ndewo nnu imena jisike bua biko nga Radio Biafra London anyị ga-enweta anyị na akara 11870 kilohertz on the shortwave band. That is kilohertz, that is 11870 kilohertz on the shortwave band. Biko isi akwere m unu nkwa na ụmụ onye unu ga n'olu ya n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị kpọtara unu nwafọ Igbo gbara ọkpụrụkpụ ka anyị jọkwanye ụmụ ụfọdụ ajụjụ, which ties in very finely with what the last caller was saying about the importance of what needs to be done. N'ihi na ndị ebe anyị chọrọ ịghọta ihe a na-ekwu okwu mgbe ọbụla sị Biafra na-abịa echi, ọ na-abịa nke a na-ama na-akwụ flag ebe niile. Ọ bụ gịnị na-eme? Ọ bụ gịnị mere ọ bịabeghị? Onye anyị chọrọ ịmata. Anyị chọpụta ihe ahụ mere ọ bịabeghị, anyị agbakwanụ mbọ mee ga wepụsi ọwụrụ ma ọdachi nọ n'ụzọ ewepụ ya hụ na ewebatara ngọzi Chineke anyị nyere ndị Igbo. N'ihi na ọ bụrụ uche obi Chineke nna nke nọ n'igwe na ndị Igbo ga-anọ na Naịjirịa na-egbuchi ha na-ata ahụhụ kwa ụbọchị, ọ ka hapụ ndị Alakụba ha kpọrọ anyị ka mgbe ụwa. Because ile ebe ọzọ niile dị iche iche ha lụgidere, ndị Alakụba lụgidere ọgụ merie ndị niile dị iche iche, weta usoro ha na-eje ekpere Chineke ha tinye ebe niile mgbe Chineke gọziri anyị hapụ anyị si na onwe ihe ọbụla ga-emetụ anyị aka. Ọwa anyị ọja aka anyị rụkwa anyị gawa wụba kwemkwem n'ime Naịjirịa. Anyị ahụ n'ebe ọ nọ taa ka m were ohere abike tufuo oke kpọpụta nwanne anyị nwoke ka ọ kọwaa onye ọwụ. Achọọ m ikwu onye ọwụ ya majiri ọnụ ya ka ọ bụ onye ọwụ. Ugwu unu ndị ụwa ndị na-ege ntị, ụmụ afọ Igbo ebe ọbụla unu na ụmụ Biafra niile dị iche iche, biko ka onye a anyị na-agwa unu okwu ka o kelee unu, kọwara unu onye ọwụ. Nna ikwu ndewo.
Ndewo. A na-akpọ m Emeka Adolf Chigozie.
Agwa Adolf Hitler ke was Adolf Hitler.
Emeka Adolf Chigozie Emeka Eziri, bete ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ na-akpọ m Emeka Adolf maka ụlọ ụlọ kpọrọ m abụ nwanne ụlọ.
Ndewo.
N'otu o si adị maka ndị anyị chọrọ ka ha n'olu anyị a, ọ ga-adị mma ka m kwuo okwu a na asụsụ Bekee, mana ana m asụ Igbo ọfụma, sụ ruo nke ndị ụzọ ụlọ. I'm barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, broker solicitor of England and Wales. I'm the solicitor for indigenous people of Biafra. Yabo lawyer nekwuchitonu ndi umu Biafra the indigenous people, the remnants that were not consumed in the war. N'eziokwu, the human rights law which we are preaching guarantees our right of existence. Yeah, but that even though we lost the war, our people were not totally annihilated, were not consumed. We still have a remnant. And the law guarantees our existence, the remnant that were not wiped out.
And our existence within Nigeria, existence in or the law guarantee the existence of Biafrans to exist as a separate unit within Nigeria or outside Nigeria. Which laws guarantees this thing? How many Biafra
okay. At the end of the war, the Biafrans lost sovereignty, but did not lose their identity, their indigenous identity. So what Biafrans lost after the war was their sovereignty,
the right to rule
themselves,
to be independent.
But they did not lose their people.
So Biafra as a name is an identity.
So the indigenous people of Biafra still retain their identity as indigenous people of Biafra.
As a people.
Good, but they don't have independence yet. So people should understand this, that you should be proud to identify yourself as a Biafran by indigenous identity. But by nationality, you're a Nigerian. By citizenship, I hope you understand this. Now, as a people, indigenous people, you now have right to determine how you want to live. That's what we call right of self-determination. So, as a people now, you cannot decide that you want to be independent, and the law allows you.
The which law? Nigerian law or United Nations law?
That's very good. It's a very good question. Now, Nigerian law allows you. Nigerian law, Captain, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 1990, allows you to exercise your right to self-determination, to decide how you want to live, the political status you want to have, whether you want to be independent from Nigeria or you want to rule yourself inside Nigeria. Any structure you want, you have the right to decide.
Because in that the same Nigerian police on airport to and all the rest of. Are you saying that Nigerian police, by arresting people like us, they're actually breaking the law of the land? Or because all our offense was to answer to Biafrans, and they arrested us and they put us in jail. So or that now. Even the Nigerian legal system, what they're doing or what?
Now, if an officer, a law enforcement agent, now arrests you for identifying yourself as a descendant of the indigenous people of Biafra, you're a Biafran by birth, by native identity, and they arrest you just for answering the name Biafra, that is wrong, because that is your indigenous identity.
Inalienable right as a human being,
yes. So, you see, in every country, just like Britain now, for instance, the Scots are there, the Welsh,
as Celtic people.
These people, they are all British. Do you understand? So, the Biafrans are there. They are now Nigerians, but their native identity as Biafrans
was not removed.
Remains.
But why is it all those are anyone Biafra Zaya very boldly? Why is it that why is Nigeria also pursuing and persecuting people answering to the name Biafra? When Biafra as a name existed before Nigeria came, by recorded history, by over 475 years, Biafra was in existence before Nigeria. So why was it that Abraham wanted the impetus to change Bite of Biafra to Bite of Benin and nobody challenged them?
Well, that's an issue that eventually will come out.
When is it coming out?
It will eventually come out. There is nothing that is covered that will not be made open one day. So there are many issues that have been swept under the carpet, which eventually will come to limelight. For instance, I have found that ignorance plays the major role on both sides.
I want to mind of ignorance.
Both Biafrans and Nigerians, both the indigenous people of Biafra and all Nigerians. For instance, one day I saw some people making arguments over the issue of Biafra independence and so on. People from other tribes confronted the other people and said, okay, if you are saying you are Biafrans, why don't you renounce your Nigerian citizenship,
give up your
passport and so on? Yes. Good. While also the Biafrans, the indigenous people of Biafra who were agitating for independence, I heard them saying they are not Nigerians. They are not Nigerians. I said, these people are so stupid. You are not Nigerian. You are carrying Nigerian passport. Listen, you are Nigerians by nationality, by citizenship. You are Nigerians.
But it doesn't stop you from being a Biafran.
You have to see your nativity, your native identity. So you're a Biafran by native identity, but you're a Nigerian by citizenship, and you must be obedient to Nigerian government because you're a citizen. And that doesn't stop you from asking for independence in a proper way.
But is it a crime to ask for independence?
That's why I say in a proper way.
Okay, proper way.
Because everything in this world is governed by law. There's rule of law in everything, whether
even in Nigeria, they show them rule of law in Nigeria.
Yes, there is.
Listen, rule of law.
Listen, there is law in Nigeria. I am a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. There is law in Nigeria. But what we are saying is
because on a judge brown envelope and white envelope.
Yes,
it depends.
Listen. We want to say that there is law and order in Nigeria. I just want to let you see there's no need being unnecessarily emotional or fanatical and so on. There must be law and there must be order. If there is no law and order in Nigeria, there would have been anarchy everywhere. There is law and order. So what I'm saying is this.
To what extent though?
What I'm saying is this. If a people want independence, there is a way to go about it. For instance, has any person or any group of people or any organ of the Igbo people, has anyone presented a bill before the National Assembly asking for a territory to be carved out, to be called Biafra? And they didn't debate it or they threw it away?
I will tell you, because the people that are sending to Abuja are people who are carrying errand boys for them. They're not boys.
So which means there is none.
Nobody has made any request.
But that is allowed in law in Nigeria.
Good, you have to apply. It's just like writing application, I hereby apply. But in politics, it's called bill. Present a bill before the National Assembly.
So
has anyone done it?
So any Igbo senator, for instance, even within the Nigerian context right now,
even
any
now,
Igbo senator or House of Reps can go.
There's a way to present a bill. Someone sponsors a bill that will be presented. So there are many, you see, there's a procedure to get a thing done. And no part of Nigeria can be ruled. You cannot carve out any part of Nigeria and call it any name except in accordance with the Constitution.
But does the Constitution provide for you to carve out Biafra from Nigeria?
That is the National Assembly. The Constitution established the National Assembly that can make law.
Yes.
And say, okay, for instance, the creation of states. Let me use creation of states, for instance. When a state is created, it's contained in the Constitution. You know that?
Yes.
Good. So, in the same way, the National Assembly has power to make law. And if the law is made that so from so boundary to so boundary.
Please, Bryce, I don't want to interrupt you, but I think we may have a call coming in. Sasisi, this is Radio Biafra London. I am on the air. When you try to go Biafra again, Sasisi. Gwande madu okwu ihe a chọrọ ịnụ ka ebe isi na-akpọ ka ihe na-eme n'ụlọ gwa anyị ihe chọrọ ịgwa anyị because na ndị mmadụ na-ajụ ese na-asị ka ekwe n'ebe Sasisi nọ maka isili eze bi nọ na ndị nke ọzọ nọ na Radio Biafra onwe ihe chọrọ ịgwa ụwa ndị na-ege ntị ugbu a
n'ebe ọ nọ ebe o si na-akpọ
karịa ha gawa n'ihu na-achọ ka anyị nọrọ onwe anyị ọ bụ ihe anyị chọrọ
ka ekwe n'ebe isi na-akpọ
Boko Haram na-aga anyị gwara ha agwa mgbe anyị nọ n'ikuku mgbe mbụ mana ugbu a ewe n'anya ha fụrụ were ntị ha nụrụ achọ ka anyị nọrọ onwe anyị ọ bụcha ihe nchọrọ ịgwa ha
ka ekwe n'ebe isi na-akpọ
esi m Lagos na-akpọ
isi Lagos na-akpọ kee otu unu nwetakwara ozi anyị gbasara na Satọde gara aga
mmadụ gwara m na afụrụ ya na punch paper na-abata nji wee kpọrọ
ọwụ 1187 biko wụ sọsọsọ asị isi wuo ndị ihe agbagojuru anya akara ị ga-eji enweta anyị wụ 11870 kilohertz on the shortwave band 11870
25 meter band shortwave
25 meter band.
Yes, 25 meter band on the shortwave. Yes.
25 meter band. Okay.
Una hona nsogbu ọbụ na onye otu anyị wụ Sasisi nọ n'ụlọ gara ụlọ edinyere ozi amaghị na Radio Biafra lọghachila n'ikuku ọwa akpọ ọkụ adịghị ezi ozi igwe aka anaghị akụ asị na netwọk na-enye nsogbu ọwa ụdị Naijiria nwa nọ n'ime biko Sasisi ime na ka anyị gaghachi goto barista maka kọwara anyị otu anyị ga-esi isi na nsogbu a wee pụta biko barista ga n'ihu tupu Dr. Egemba abata.
It's okay. Ihe m na-ekwu tupu onye na-akpọ n'igwe wee kpọọ asị m na ihe niile nwere usoro. Everything, there's a procedure, there's a proper way of doing things. The law is there and it's our duty now to apply the law. Now if you want independence or if you want to exercise your right of self-determination in any other way, you have the right to do so. There is a proper way to do so. But you cannot begin now to insult Nigerian government. If you do, you are committing an offense.
How about freedom of speech? In Afghanistan, I don't have freedom of speech to say in this country we are in England. I can say I want for Biafra can will bring na England. I want make David Cameron gakuje Queen. Madam, you won't believe it.
Fine. I said it's so fine. Now, freedom of speech does not mean freedom to commit offense. Freedom of expression does not mean freedom to commit crime.
Yes, I agree.
Good. So that's why I said everything must be done properly, orderly. For instance, I said if the Biafra, the indigenous people of Biafra want independence now, they can sponsor a bill, for instance, in the National Assembly and let it be debated.
Oh, why? So did you understand about how
okay, just sponsor a bill now. Let us debate it in the National Assembly.
Even to condemn Boko Haram for what they're doing, they can't even do it.
Okay, we are going to a different thing. We are talking about this. What we are saying is this: if you want to exercise your right to self-determination, exercise it under the law, by the rule of law.
Baresa can judge na ugwu Hausa enwere this state the state has declared Sharia law. Zamfara state. Now Hannah has that that was based on the constitution.
Yes, they are correct.
You see? Yes. Now if are you telling me now barrister that my governor, I'm from Imo State, how my name be Secession Imo State, if my state governor will Rocha Sokorocha belated tomorrow morning say Imo State, I want Imo State now to answer Biafra.
As long as
can that be what is the process? How can it be? Because in connection with Sharia law, it declared in one state and it is still holding. The federal government has not been able to ban it. Said no, you cannot do that. They are still doing. Can a state governor, for instance, the Rocha Sokorocha Bile say no, Imo State now will be called the Republic of Biafra or will live on this? How does it work?
That's a good question. Now, Sharia law is supported. In fact, the Constitution of Nigeria guarantees Sharia law. The same Constitution guarantees customary law. In other words, the northern part of Nigeria that was practicing Islamic law before Nigeria was formed, and the southern part of Nigeria that was practicing customary law before Nigeria was formed, both regions were protected under Section 315 of the Constitution of Nigeria. All existing laws, pre-existing laws, customs, and practices of the people that were existing before Nigeria was created, the Constitution of Nigeria preserved them. So, the people of the North practicing Islamic law now have developed their Islamic law. The people of the South practicing customary law, I don't know how far they have developed their customary law. But one thing I know is that Sharia law has Sharia Court of Appeal and Sharia courts. Yeah. Just like customary law has customary court of appeal and customary courts in the South.
Okay, but there's no southern area that is practicing customary law.
Listen, they are practicing. We are practicing customary law in the South. But what happens is, customary courts. Sometimes I go to customary courts.
In which area?
In the whole East, we have customary courts.
Which area? So we can ask our listeners to go there tomorrow and see what is happening and tell us what is happening.
Yes. I said in the whole of the East.
Because what Dr. Gemba is trying to point out is that although we have the right to return to the ways our ancestors were living in,
that's crossing.
Man no nyo wano ga gi were kwa ala banye ga chi ndi nwala mgbe ọ na-eme ị gaghị ga n'ọrụ mmadụ ga gwuru ji ma ọ ga gwuru ji bụ onye ọnwụ mgbe eziokwu nọ nna nna anyị ha ndị hiwere ala Igbo hiwere n'eziokwu n'ime mmụọ na eziokwu ọ bụ gịnị mere mụọ bụ onye Abia steeti agaghị ese n'ihe ọjọọ na-eme na ọ karịala ka alagachi otu nna nna anyị ha chi hiwe anyị mgbe mbụ.
I'm saying that Abia State you are talking about, we have customary courts. If you go to Abano House, for instance, customary court Abano House is there.
Doing what?
Also, administering the law according to the custom of the people. It is called customary law.
So might as well.
What we are saying is that the whole. I'm saying that Ali Bonile when a customary court. So, but the difference between Islamic Sharia law and customary law is that
prominence.
No, listen, the Muslims of the North now made Islamic law or Islamic Sharia law to be a kind of religious law imposing Islam on every person. But customary law of the South does not compel you, does not impose any religion on you. In other words, those in the South, the customary law they practice does not impose religion on you. But Sharia law, Sharia legal system imposes the religion of Islam on the people. Okay. But customary law does not impose any religion on the people.
But we shouldn't begrudge them. If people in Zamfara State want to impose Sharia that says that you shouldn't come out of your house in the morning, I'm not against that. The people voted for it. That's what they want. What we're saying is that if we had all these tools all these years, or we're going with the first lawyer, Igbo lawyer Patrano or Wakambowa, and we're very learned Igbo people who are there, who fought the war, who survived the war, who came out, who even contributed to the writing of the Constitution of Nigeria. Why have they not been able to uncover this? Because I name Unopota Dikeshi Toga Hambe Badara. They were barrister and a solicitor and attorney at law, both in England and Wales and in Nigeria. And again, when here, other attorneys, when man chief justice and chief emeritus justice in the retired how good why haven't they found something so simple? Why haven't they said to the people that all this agitation I know blue flag, Mande Buddha, Mande Dento, Mande Atoronga, unu happier.
Let me
We can go and use Nigerian constitution to get Biafra and argue with Nigerian government in court and defeat them in court based on Nigerian law. And you remember, I know about every flag, every flag. Why have we not, until you came along, until certain other people came along to say that now a legal test? We don't even need to go to UN. We can argue for Biafra independence in Nigerian Supreme Court in Abuja and argue for Biafra.
Yeah. When I was talking before, you brought me into customary law. You know why I brought customary law? Is you mentioned Islamic law. You mentioned Sharia law. You mentioned Sharia law. That was why I now brought up the issue of customary law, which is the counterpart of this of Sharia law. But we were talking about self-determination for the right of the people, which I cited Captain Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 1990 that guarantees right of self-determination to the indigenous people. Good. So yes, we can determine how we want to live, the political status, using Nigerian law. The political status, self-determination means you can decide to be independent. That's outside Nigeria. You can decide to rule yourself within Nigeria. You can decide any other political arrangement you like. That is based on the law.
So, this is very interesting. I if we're not part of Nigeria, can't be killing us.
When he kuruba no ndị na-egbucha anyị n'ugwu Hausa. Ndị anyị nọ n'ugwu Hausa gịsị ha lọta. Ha si ugwu Hausa aka ha mma.
Ha na lọta mmiri ọ na-agba. Ọkụ na-enwu.
Ndị nọkwa na-anọ n'ala Igbo ha nwụchala. Ihe ha na-aṅụ mmiri gọta. Kama gị ga na Njaba ṅụọ mmiri. Ọ bụrụ na pọmpụ anọ mmiri nọ gaa na Njaba gaa kuru mmiri. Ghana, onye si na ala Igbo emezighi emezi onye mere eji gaa ugwu Hausa ma ọ wụ ọdịda anyanwụ ga biri. Anyị na ndị bikwa n'ala Igbo anyị ọnwụchala ọkwa anyị nọ n'ala Igbo. Ọ wụ eziokwu ala Igbo emezighi emezi. Aya nwe emezibe ya mana a ga-emezi yo mana anyị nwere ihe
ọkwa ihe anyị mana ọ na-ara n'ahụ oge anyị agala aga o nwere ụmụ ihe olemole m chọburu ịrụtụ aka kama ka anyị laghachi n'ihi na o nwere ihe i kwuru. Nwanne anyị nwoke kpọrọ oge mbụ si na ha agala UN. Anyị na-ajụ sị inwe do you have any connection, any dealings with kemgbe chọpụtara ihe a, what role did you play? Ka ihe mere ka ihe anyị na-ekwu nwe ike gaa n'ihu nwe ikwe n'ike nwe ichi anyị achọkwara gị nọ anyị waste we've wasted a lot of time discussing this thing kwa ụbọchị Biafra kamgbe 1970 anyị lose the war. Anyị na-eche ka onye isi anyị nọta from Ivory Coast na anyị ga-enweta ihe anyị na-achọ otu abụghị n'ezi anyị mechi ihe ndị a niile ọwọkụghị now ọ bụghị ihe ịtụnanya na ozugbo onye isi anyị nwụrụ Boko Haram ebido gbuwe anyị as soon as Ojukwu died, because ha mana Ojukwu nọrọ ndụ ihe a na-eme ugbu a gara eme ya. They know that very well. They decided to kill us as soon as Ojukwu died. So what we're asking is gwatuga anyị, because there has to be somebody or I have one somebody, a group, a movement that embodies this idea of legal approach and elegant democratic approach. Dịka isi kwuo ya o nwende one day because kekọwara anyị n'ihi na ndị mmadụ na-ajụ anyị kamgbe 2009 olege ebe anyị ga what is happening kọwara ha ka ha ghọta ebe ha nwere ike itinye isi.
Yes, aga m asụ ya n'olu bekee, aga m etinye Chukwu Igbo. In a thing like this, there should be a platform, there should be a movement. In international law, we call it a national liberation movement. So this national liberation movement can champion the cause of a people seeking for their liberation, that is self-determination. So
without confrontation, we are talking
about the rule of law.
Okay.
We're not talking about military or confrontation. We're talking about the rule of law. So in this case, the indigenous people of Biafra exercised their freedom of association and established a human rights organization called Bilie Human Rights Initiative.
It's not how we're going to go.
Bilie Human Rights Initiative. It means stand up. It is
stand up for your right.
Stand up for your right. No, there's nothing wrong for a man to stand up for his right. So it's a human rights organization advocating for the rights of the people. You see, it is going to use legal method, legal approach. So there's nothing like confrontation. It is law we're talking about.
This is the way. This is the peaceful means. Even all before the mother UN guy because Unuga to www.radiobiafralondon.com. Unuga here. Unuga na UN. Unuga go and Google UN. Joa has her to how many Biafran groups are registered at the United Nations? So how can you be saying to people that I am agitating for Biafra when even UN, who may be the final arbiter, doesn't even know you exist?
I'm saying that that liberation movement, that national liberation movement, definitely has to be registered with the United Nations. And that is what the human rights organization has done. The Bilie Human Rights Initiative is registered as indigenous people's organization under the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. That is the UN department in charge of civil society organizations. So if you go to the UN website, that's UN DESA, it's called NGO branch. If you go there and Google it and search for it, you will see Bilie Human Rights Initiative, registered as Indigenous Peoples Organization. Now,
indigenous people meaning Biafra.
It is inside the UN. There are categories of organizations. It's either you register as intergovernmental organization or non-governmental organization, NGO or IPO, different groups, grades of registration. So the indigenous people of Biafra registered the Bilie Human Rights Initiative as IPO, that's the Indigenous Peoples Organization, and it is there to fight for their rights. That is for their self-determination.
Okay,
that is it.
Because akụkọ ka dọkwa n'ihu n'ihi na ụmụ ụfọdụ ihe a chọrọ ịrụtụ aka mgbe bịara n'ihu kama tupu anyị na-emechi n'ihi na ọkụ kwarapụ dịka ọ na-esi eme anyị mgbe mbụ ihe a na-arịọ ọwụ na akwa eleghị anya bilie ọnọ
yeah, the headquarters of Bilie Human Rights Initiative the headquarters of Bilie Human Rights Initiative is in Owerri, according to the constitution, which is registered by the Nigerian government. Owerri is the headquarters of
so even Nigerian government will recognize what Bilie is doing in terms of fighting for the rights. So even Nigerian government register because he used the legal means.
I told you that Nigeria respects the law and obeys the law. I told you that Nigerian government respects the law and obeys the law if you go in the right way.
Okay.
So Bilie Human Rights Initiative applied to the Nigerian government, and Nigerian government registered it because it is a human rights organization advocating for the rights of the people.
Okay, Nnamdi, I got more onye ọka iwu ọzọ ya oge na-adị anya ya bịakwuo bịa kọwara ndị na-ege ntị ka anyị nwee ike ghọta nke ọma. Amụtala m ihe dị iche n'ọbịbịa ọ bịara taa, so anyị ga-akpọ ya mgbe ọzọ ya bịakwa kọwara anyị ihe omimi ndị anyị na-amahụ gbasara ụzọ pụrụ iche, ụzọ eji enweta onwe anyị na-alụ ọgụ na-agbaghị egbe na-agbagbuchi ndị
mmadụ. So ihe ọ na-ekwu n'ugwu onye ọbụla nọ na Bilie agaghị ike ịtụ no,
listen. It is a human rights organization. Now, if you go out and say because you are in Bilie, you now start committing crime, then the law will catch up with you. You say, okay, you are Billion Human Rights Initiative, you are a human rights activist, and you now start committing crime. That does not give you license to commit crime.
Absolutely.
You'll be arrested. In fact, the members of Billion organization, Billion government itself will even hand you over to the law enforcement agents if you commit a crime. Because Billion Human Rights Initiative is a legal entity. And if any person commits crime, in fact, Billion itself will hand the person over to the law enforcement agents. You should not commit a crime.
But I want to hear by answering, because you have to be proud of your name. Why ain't really proud of our name? Then,
no.
And we are arrested.
Okay, fine. If
That's
you,
what I want to know.
If you say you are a descendant of the indigenous people of Biafra, you are a Biafran by native identity, and somebody arrests you, then that person has committed a crime by arresting you because of your indigenous identity.
So what will Billier do under such circumstances?
Billier will take up the matter, go to court, and defend you.
So wherever you are,
yes.
if you're a member of Billier and you get into, you didn't commit a crime, or
provided there is no crime committed, you did not commit a crime.
So Billier will not abandon the person. Languishing because none has Biafra.
Never.
Okay, I happy and opportunity get and the man again to I said I said there are many ways to skin a cat.
I don't know how to skin it. I don't know how many ways to do it. I don't know how many ways to skin a cat.
But one way you can help to bring about Biafra.
Yes, if the indigenous people of Biafra say they want self-determination by way of independence, out of Nigeria, they'll get it. If they say they want to rule themselves within Nigeria and be autonomous, just like Scotland and is ruling itself,
within England.
Yes, not Ireland. UK. Scotland is ruling itself within the UK, and so it depends on what the indigenous people of Biafra want. If they want to be outside Nigeria entirely, they go for it. So
it's not what you want, it's what the people...
It's what the people want.
So, and how would they express that?
By way of referendum, by ballot box.
By ballot box.
We will get
so our election, other election and
it is by democracy.
So since ballot box.
It has to be. It has to end by ballot box, by voting.
Voting solves our problem.
What do you want? What do you want? Do you want to be inside Nigeria? Or do you want to be outside? Or do you want to rule yourself inside? It is you.
Ballot box.
It is the people that will decide. Exactly.
Election.
How will you review the election?
Now one thing on Saturday by 8 p.m. in the evening, Elektranya Saturn Nuhuruchi because Gabia. Well, Munu Ebo Luno, O Supamta, Anegagu Nebo Neme Uneseba Huapo. Opoka in Kembo on a Mabia before newspaper Lutebuno, Ebushelo Munanya. It will not, as long as Radio Biafra is on the air, such killings will no more happen.
Everybody should go and get shortwave radio.
Oh, no, Egana Church, Basos, you know, like I want the shortwave radio, then with the Radio Biafra. One thing to kind of wound, I will be broadcasting every blessed day, morning and evening, to bring you the latest news the way it is happening. Yeka Anyampa, what the Mandibo, Yeka Anyampa, way up and Tundibo, Yeka Anyampa, way home, Namewan and Muban, or Degama, Anaga here watching Kitty, Beacon, Dominic Grant and Abrana, see Beacon Bozokwa. 8 o'clock Saturday, tune into 11870 kilohertz on the shortwave. I'm Nnamdi Kanu, once again, your regular host. And from Dr. Gamba, please.
Ndibo, Chukugo Zuno, Gas Run Radio, Neganent.
Ndibo, Ndi Mnakbo, indigenous people of Biafra, Yabundi Wufra, and Diagane Richaho, Unogadendo, Chineke Goziuno, Ogadra in Ilemma. Now, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Because I can have each of them. Mandi Doma, Mandi Bibio, Mandi Fik, Mandi and your Mandi Teacher. I would because when you are necessary. I na Gozuno Nasi, Onyam Dunu, Chabuno, Kachechinasa, Devon.